Are we live? Are we live? I think so. There we go. I'm always so worried about the audio on these things. I can never tell if my sound is good. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome. I'm Diane. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for stopping by. If this is your first visit, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So, my pictures look a little blurry. My cards. I'm looking on my iPad and they seem to look a little blurry today. I don't know why. I put the black cardboard back here behind them to help that, and maybe it didn't. So I wanted to show you, these are our cards. My upline demonstrator, Anne, had a mystery card party on Saturday, and these were the cards that I made following her instruction. Maybe I can only have one at a time. It's too much black and white conflicting with each other. So anyway, she had us block off either, I did a strip, a diagonal strip, and the other option was you could use Post-it notes and block off a square and then blend your colors. Now these ones are a little bit lighter. I actually used the same color combination of Calypso Coral and Melon Mambo. So this one came out a little bit lighter, but I think that's kind of pretty. We might have to do that one day. I only didn't like this card the way I did my stamping. I think I liked it better with a full floral image. You know, I probably should have just carried that down like this one. This one only has one. I like that better. So maybe we'll play with that one day. Let me give you some quick updates. Since this is the last week of June, our mini catalog ends June 30th. So if there's anything in this catalog that you were looking to get, now's your time to get it. And because I know some folks don't go over to my webpage, I ran over there real quick before we started here and I copied down the shopping code. So when you're shopping, if you put that code in where it says host code, you'll come up with me as your host, that you're shopping with me. Also, the 30th will be your last day to purchase the Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chicks. And I have mine actually in a bag because I'm doing a workshop with them coming up. In case you missed these little dandies, they were these cutie patooties. Aren't they sweet? We did a couple workshops with this. I did one of my designer cards with it. Yeah, and I still use them. They are a fun set. So those are going away on the 30th, after the 30th, I should say. I have to remember to order my holiday catalogs. Those will be coming up. And get ready for summer celebration. And remember, that's when you're ordering, it's $50 or more. You can earn free stamp sets or free designer series, whatever Stampin' Up! Is going to offer us this time, because I have not seen the new catalog yet for that. And also, July 1st through August the 2nd is the Designer Series paper sale. So you can get 15% off selected Designer Series paper. Take a peek out there and see if there are any papers that you wanted to get. Let me see, what else? We already had free shipping. Getting ready for the mini catalog and celebration. And I think that's it as far as my info goes. I'm getting ready for our August workshop here and a couple other workshops that we're doing. So if you could see my poor craft room, you can't even see my tabletop. It's amazing. So I'll show this again before we sign off for today. So today I'm using Positive Thoughts, which is a stamp set that you just might have overlooked. And I mean, who couldn't use a little bit of encouragement, right? I know I can use a hug once in a while. Today would be good, but we'll settle for hugs, prayers, and loves in a stamp, huh? And this stamp set is part of a bundle. You can get either the stamps or the stamp and die set. Remember, when you buy the bundle, it saves you 10%. Excuse me, I guess we're going to be hoarse today. I was hoping I'd keep my voice, but maybe not. So we have 8 stamps in the stamp set, and then we have the Nature's Thoughts dies. My first card is actually, it was inspired by one of the cards in the catalog and my Christmas card that we did on Friday. If you watched Friday's Christmas in the Making, we did we made 2 Christmas cards, but this one where I had my papers offset, I kind of enjoyed doing that. So our first card today, I'm doing that again. I like the little tilted background. My second card is one of those cards that is in process. So if you don't like working through how I design and my mind is working on the second card, you may want to just skip over that and tune back in next week and see how it comes out. But so far it's pretty. I'm just stuck. But maybe if anybody's out there and you leave a comment or anything, maybe you can help me figure out how I want to finish it up. I know what I want it to be. I'm just having trouble getting the card there. So let's start with our first one, and then we'll continue with the second. Here's our first card today. See, oh, you know what it is? It's that stupid light. I have struggled with this light being too bright, but if I turn it down, then it's too dark. So, always technical difficulties, you know? That's why I retired. I didn't want to deal with computers and technical crap. Is that any better? Not really. Honest to Pete, I don't know what to do. Turning it off, possibly. Okay, so here's our card. It leaves a lot of shadows, but I'll try to work around it with you. So I wanted to use the Fresh Freesia paper, the new in color paper, and I have the most awful time trying to coordinate anything with that color. I don't know why I struggle so much. I've started out with it several times to make cards, and I can't get that purple to complement any paper that I'm using. I don't know, and I end up going back to Highland Heather, which is what we're starting with today. I have a Highland Heather card base that is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And let's see if I can maybe get around some of the shadows. I doubt it. I played with this last week because I did like 3 videos, and every one of them was just, oh, look at that. See, that's just awful. Let me see if I can make it dimmer. Will that help? Maybe? Okay. Maybe. Okay, so 8.5 by 11, cut in half, and then scored in half and folded to get 4.25 by 5.5. I don't know why it looks big to me, but 4.25 5.5, but that's what it is. Okay. And then I took a piece of Designer Series paper. Whoops, I lied. Next layer is purple Posy or any lighter purple color if you're going to follow along and use purple. I tried this time to stay away from greens. I've been using so many greens lately. So I went over to my card rack, or my paper rack, and I started to pull out Pretty Peacock because I was using, that's a retired color, and I was using it for one of my workshop cards. I was like, wait, this is green too. So I just reached over and I grabbed purple Posy and started working from there. And like I said, I really was hoping this would have looked pretty with the freesia, but I don't know. Let me show you what I mean. Where did I put all those purples? Oh, right here. Oh. So this was purple Posy. And if you remember, this was one of the colors that Stampin' Up! Had problems with the ink. We were able to get the paper, but the ink pad was giving them problem, and then so they made it not available. And I think I have one, and it really isn't the best quality. The ink just is real weird in it. And this is fresh freesia. So you can see the freesia has more of, maybe you can't see, the freesia has more of a pink color in it, where the purple Posy has more blue. So I guess it's the red and the blue that are fighting each other. And then this was the Highland Heather. And the Highland Heather has more blue than red. Sorry, just smacked you in the head up there. And so every time I pull this out, and I guess I need to find a pink or a red. You know what? It doesn't look half bad with Mary Merlot. And that's my next one. So anyways, we went with purple Posy and Highland Heather. So I started with my Highland Heather, and I pulled out gray granite because I used a little bit of that when I did the leaf stamp on here, and I didn't know if I would need gray paper. Oh, I had that over so I could see my measurements. Okay. So purple Posy, this layer, whatever color you choose, is 3.5 by 5. That makes it just small enough that you can put it on your card base at an angle. And then the next layer was a piece of Designer Series paper. And I'm also going to angle that. So this is 3 inches by 4.25. And that makes it just a bit smaller than your purple, but just large enough that it'll be noticeable on our card. And then we have a piece of white, 2 3/4 inches by 4.25. And then I also cut another piece of Highland Heather. No, I didn't. This one's purple Posy. Oh, that's for our greeting. There's my Highland Heather. Thought it looked a little big. Highland Heather at 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. And this is just enough to make a mat and frame our stamped image for the front. Okay. And then I had a scrap of the purple Posy to stamp my greeting. And I have a scrap of Highland Heather to cut out a couple little butterflies. So we'll start with our stamping. And as I said, I stamped my leaf image from this set in gray granite. You could also use crumb cake if you're following along, but my crumb cake was downstairs on another project, so gray granite it is. Oh, I should have put a paper under here because I'm stamping off the edge of my paper and I don't want to get this black cardstock all gunked up already. We'll use my game card from Saturday night. When we're done with our mystery card, we always play a couple of games of bingo for Stampin' Up! Products. Okay. So I'm using the leaf stamp once. second stamping right behind it. And then my third one, I only want a little piece of the leaf down here, but I want it light also, so I'm stamping off. And then I'm just going to stamp a few more leaves in the background. Okay. Stamp off. Oh, so I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was a scorcher here. We had some discussion on how low we should actually keep the air conditioning set, because I'm not cold. We can turn that puppy down to frigid, and I'm not cold. So see if we can clear my throat up there. My Snoopy mug, my happy Monday Snoopy. He always makes me smile. Okay, so this actually isn't hard at all once we start putting our card together now. Let me get that scrap piece of purple Posy and some Highland Heather, and we'll stamp our greeting. Watch me grab the wrong paper. I think it's this one. And our stamping will be done. You know what would be pretty on that? Some splatter. Oh, okay. Let's just keep that there for a minute. And kind of stamping this in the middle because I am going to die cut my, well, not really in the middle, but away from the edges to give enough room for my die to go around. Yeah, some splatter would be pretty on that. Do I have a purple? I like to use the Stampin' Rink markers for that. Works really well. Do I have a purple marker? I do. We have purple Posy and fresh freesia. Well, we know the freesia is not going to be my favorite on this, so let's try some purple Posy. Then I'm going to take the brush tip of my marker, and from my lid I'm just going to splatter some of the ink. Pretty cool, right? It's the same thing as using paintbrush and watercolor, but we already have our ink in the pen. Okay. Now we will need, come here, my mini boss. I saved this so we could cut some butterflies out together. And that will be helpful when I can find my die set. And my little strip of paper. And this is the tiny butterfly, not the big butterfly, because that one is just an outline image. So it would work best if we had stamped onto cardstock and then die cut. This little tiny one where's my little pick, because my mats are a mess. They have been working hard. I don't want to tear my butterfly in half. Oh, I am though, ripping him. Oh, there it is. A little pick tool there. Pop out any of the little bits that didn't come out. That's one. And you know I'm not a butterfly-y person, but I really think that these little butterflies are adorable. I like butterflies. I'm not afraid of them or anything. You know, we had a spell there was Stampin' Up! Where there were so many butterfly stamp sets, butterfly paper, butterfly dies, butterfly videos. You can find a video on any butterfly card that you want. I was really tired of them. 2 and 1 more. So now that that scene has died down a little bit, I'm not quite as against making a butterfly card, but this isn't really a butterfly card. I'm not done with this stamp set either, because this is gonna end up being one of my favorites. I can tell already. I had I know I've used the Hugs, Prayers, Love stamp several times, and actually I think I've used it on many sympathy cards. I haven't used the feather, and okay, there's 3. And when I show you in the next card this outline die, you're going to want this set. I haven't used the little fleur-de-lis stamp. I haven't used, did I use the flower on that one? No, I haven't used the flower yet. I've only used this leaf and the words until today. So we're not done with this set. Okay, so we're going to take our, that's my reading. Oh, I should have die cut that out too. While we were at it, get that all done. And I used my Ornate Frames dies. You can use whatever die is going to fit around your greeting. So this card will work with any floral set. Anything that you have with, even like the ones that I did on Saturday for the mystery card, that would work with this as well. But I do love this set. So, the hardest part was getting this straight. I like the font too. I was telling you about when I grabbed the Pretty Peacock, because I'm using that in one of my August workshop cards. And I know it's retired, but we're making cards. We're not worrying so much about what is available and not. I'll have everything available for anyone who wants to come and make cards with us. That information is on my webpage. I do believe it's August 27th, and you can make cards between 3 and 8 o'clock. You can sign up at 8 o'clock and stay here as long as it takes you to finish your cards. That's fine. You'll make 12 cards, all occasion cards. So I have 8 of them designed and ready here. I just have to start cutting bits out for my crafters that come. Come on. Trim my nails now. I can't pick anything up. Okay, so let's start gluing paper down. Anyway, so we're using Pretty Peacock for one of them. And while I was shuffling through my stamp sets, because I'm also ready to maybe sell some of my stamp sets that I don't use quite so much anymore. So anyways, I've been trying to go through them, and that, trust me, that's a big thing for me, because I keep my stamp sets. So looking at them and deciding, do I want to offer this to someone else who can use it, or do I want to keep it? It's being very hard for me to decide. So that's taken some time. I don't want to get rid of any of them. But I also know that the holiday catalog's coming. And I'm going to run out of room. Okay, so I'm going to layer my stamped image onto my mat in the center, because I'm going to add a bow. Oh, where's my little bow maker? I thought I left it out for myself. And I had some gorgeous grape ribbon that was left from one catalog, or I think, is it on clearance right now? The Blackberry Bliss is on clearance. I need to get some more of that, because I'm going to want it for a Christmas set that's coming. You guys just wait. It's so pretty. I hope it's one of the sets we're allowed to get on pre-order. Because we don't get to just pre-order whatever we want to from the catalog. Stampin' Up! Will give us a list of items and say, you know, here's your pre-order list. You can, and you're limited on how many you can get. So it's not like I can buy 50 stamp sets. I can get one stamp set of what I choose, you know. I mean, there's more than one, but you can only get one of them. Excuse me. So, boy, when I got to do the preview of the catalog, because we do get to look at the catalog first, and that way we can kind of decide what we're going to want to order. And I knew the very first one, but see, when that happens, that set's never on the pre-order list for me. And I like it. So anyways, back to my pretty peacock story for my workshop that I keep going way off track. I might have to put a glue dot under that. It's being a little, it thinks it has a mind of its own. So while I was rummaging through my stamp sets and deciding which ones I'll be able to live without, I happened to spot one of my wooden block stamp sets. And for anyone who's not familiar with that, our stamp sets used to be all red rubber on wooden blocks, which I think make a wonderful impression. I really like them. They're expensive to ship and rather heavy and bulky to store. So what we have now, especially the photopolymer ones, because two-step stamping is a breeze with them because you can see through them and you know right where you're stamping. So anyways, I picked up this one, and it was one of my wooden sets from 2002 called Botanicals. And look at this font. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? So that's what we're going to use on the front of one of the cards, just because it's too pretty. So even though it's an old set, we're going to use it and like it. Yeah. Okay, so now we need some dimensionals for this panel. I'll show you a wooden set here. I have the botanical ones over in the bin for our card buffet already. So now the hardest part for me on this card now that I have paper on here wonky, was lining this one up straight. That was the difficult part on here, to get that centered. I think it is. Okay. My greeting that I'm going to put down here is not going to be level because this is on dimensionals and my tag is overhanging. So I need to put a dimensional on this side, but just adhesive on this side so that my label doesn't tilt off of the front. Let's see if that's even. Okay. And now we can glue our butterflies. And I'm going to use my silicone mat here. And boy, got a lot of glue on that side. I like using Tombow, when we are adhering cardstock to cardstock, especially if that cardstock is embossed, because I think that it gets into all of the little layers of the embossing and helps make a nice secure card. But Tombow also leaves a residue if it squeezes out behind your image. And so I'm using, this is actually art glitter glue, and if you have crafted with any other kind of stamp sets, any other products, you've probably heard of it. This comes with a really fine point tip on it, and it does dry clear. So if I'm doing something like this with the butterflies, I use my art glitter glue, and I know that Stampin' Up! Has a fine tip glue also. I just am happy with this, so that's what I use. You do have to keep a pin in the tip of it, and I have to look because they make, oh, where did I put my little tweezers? They make little dangles that go on that tip of that. And then just place your butterflies wherever you want them to be. Anyways, the little dangles then have like a needle to go down inside of the point so it doesn't plug up. And I'm going to go to, what do I want this one? I am going to the Stamp Art Scrap Tour in July here, and that's where I first came across the art glitter glue, and so I'm going to look while I'm there. I think that's pretty. I like this set a lot. Yes. So there is our positive thoughts without fresh freesia. So here is an example of, because I do have lots of wooden block sets. This was Sidekick Sayings, and I thought a lot of these had, yep, 2007. These ones actually had the year on them. Ooh, it's purple rubber, not red rubber. Usually they're red rubber. There's some glitter in there. But they're a rubber stamp, and they're just on a wooden block. And they gave a nice, clear impression. So, yeah, wooden block sets. I'm sure you've seen wooden, this one. I think I got this at the craft store, but isn't he cute? A cute little puppy. I digress, I know. Sorry. He just is a sweetie. Okay, so the second one, let me get rid of all these purple papers I was showing you now. My second card, where I am stuck. What I have wanted to do is use the negative space of a die cut with script behind it. And so we either could take a piece of white cardstock, and this is for where, if you folks don't want to stamp sets that have script on them, and I think our Parisian Beauty stamp set, and actually this was the paper I was looking for because I think it has scripty paper. Yeah, we could have just taken something like this script stamp. There's another one too that doesn't really say anything. It just looks like writing, and you could stamp. Oh, you know what? We did that with was it Dandelion Garden or something we just used in the spring? Anyways, but I happened to find some designer series paper that already had script on it, so why not use it, right? We have to do that one day to make the Eiffel Tower. We have lots of things we haven't ever got around to using. So this old paper that I found was pressed petals, and when I was going through my DSP over there, I happened to see had some scripty paper in it. It also has, and I think would be pretty, I think we used this on a card not too long ago. Either this would be pretty behind, or this one would be pretty behind if we were doing a green card. Remember, I was trying to stay away from green today. But this would be pretty with negative space also. And what I mean by negative space is when I have my piece of cardstock and I cut out my shape with the die. We always use the die on our cards, the die cut piece, and a lot of times this is stamped. There is a stamp, the leaf that we just used, and then we can die cut it. But it leaves the negative space in your cardstock. And sometimes those designs are very pretty. And so I've been wanting to do a card based around the negative space. So when I spotted this paper, I just grabbed it because of the script. But this would work well also because I think it looks nice when you have newspaper print or typewriter print or anything like that behind negative space. I think it's very pretty. I think the musical notes would be nice also. So I grabbed some of that scripty paper. And then I wanted to have this is Mary Merlot, by the way, just in case you're wondering what color of cardstock I chose. Didn't get that creased very well because I'm going to stay shut. So here was my scripty font, or my scripty paper. And then I didn't know if I wanted to make my whole background scripty or just the part that's going to be behind my die cut. So I die cut out of a piece of Mary Merlot that would cover up the whole thing, and I didn't like that. So then I thought I needed to see some more of the script around it. And so then I took the die from this die set, which is just so pretty that I can't not use it now. So oh, it's not going to fit in here because I have it cut larger. That's right. You get the big guy. Come here, big boss. Oh. I forgot why I had the big one sitting out here. That's why. I have to keep it kind of close to that outside edge because I don't want to cut too much of the leaf off there. Oh, I don't want to cut any of the leaf off. Oh, they're straight. I didn't move it around. Come on, muscles. Can do it. Can do it. Sorry, Snoopy. All right. And can you see the beautiful design that this leaves around the outside edge? If you have those, I think they were called the Whimsy dies that we have. The Whimsy dies don't cut out your rectangle, they just make the little design impression around the edge. And so this die cuts it and makes a pretty stitching around the edge. So there you go, there's a new favorite, right? All right. So we got that and that. And then I didn't really want to do traditional ribbon or anything, so I took a piece of Rococo Rose, which is a retired color, but it was the closest, excuse me, to this pink that looked right, and decided to make the border with that. But I also liked this border die that's in the set. So since we had the leftover paper, we may as well cut one out, right? See how pretty it is. So if you're hanging in there with me and you have any ideas about what you would like to see, I mean, I don't know, I don't usually get very many comments or anything on my videos. I don't even know if anybody watches them, to be honest. You want to let me know what you're interested in seeing created. If you're tired of the same old die cut and stamp and you would like to have more, we have the old embossing paste and things like that. We can do some mixed media type cards. Or if you like alcohol ink and you want to see images that are colored with our blends, we can do that also. All you got to do is drop me a note there in the comments and let me know what you're looking for, and we'll work up a card. Or two. Or three. Oops. Came out in a bit of a blob, didn't it? So I'm going to take my torn edge and glue it to the edge of that panel that I die cut. I don't really want a whole lot hanging out the end. I just want to see the torn edge. And I certainly don't want to see that glue. Alrighty. So then, actually, my next problem was I didn't know if I wanted to put this on dimensionals or adhere it flat. I did decide to use dimensionals. And this designer series paper was just cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, come on. So I kept this towards the left of my card. So that I could add my little lacy piece on the right. So that's how I got this far. And while I'm gluing this, I'll show you some of the options that I'm stuck on. So I have the dimensional bits. I have the positive space of the die that I cut out. I cut out some of these little leaves or whatever they are from the die set. There's a smaller one, a couple of those. There's my other one of those. I stamped Hugs, Prayers, and Love. I don't know where I want to put that on there. I almost want it to be ripped because of this torn edge that I made with the rose color. And I also found, oh, see, I tried to remember the name of this. We had, is it Perennial Essence vellum paper a long time ago with green and this pinkish color in it. And I bought several packages of it because I like to cut out vellum leaves and have those available, especially when I go to make Christmas cards. So I had gotten several packages of that, and I don't really use the pink vellum as much, but it might work on this card. Alright, let me glue this down if I can find my silicone mat, while we kind of think of what to do with the rest of this. And this is where my brain has derailed. I just don't know where to go next. I don't know that I necessarily want to die cut my greeting out. As I said, I think I would like to have it torn, but just maybe tear around the stamped font, or cut a rectangle and tear one edge. Then and even then, do I want to use any of those die cut little leaves that I cut? Or I tied a bow with some crumb cake. I thought if I put that on there, it makes it look like a Christmas tree, so I kind of avoided that. Let's start, I guess, by top off. I'll start by just having this, and I'll tear this edge. Get rid of that because I don't like it for sure. And you can control where your paper's tearing. That's not too bad. You can control where your paper is tearing just by holding your paper firmly between your thumbs. Pinch the paper tight, and it's going to prevent your paper from going way off and ripping randomly. Cardstock is a little thicker, so getting it started can be rough, but can get done. At this point now, oh, that kind of tore pretty. If you wanted to use your ink and maybe ink the edges, I'll do it on a scrap paper because I'm not doing the edges of my paper is not my specialty. I don't really always like the results. So, oh, what did I just throw away? My cards, oh no. My pretty purple cards. I don't want to get rid of them. Those ones came out good. Okay, so typically people would sponge edges. I'm not a spongy person. So you can use your blender brushes or a sponge if you're better at it than I am. I am not good with sponges. And then just go around your edge. I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, it's just paper. It's just paper, right? Might make it stand out against the background a little bit better. I don't know. I want the frayed edge to be noticeable. I don't want it hidden. Take my brush off. And then what about maybe a Vellum Butterfly out of the pink? Like my little mini chopper? Might have one of those as a prize at my workshop. Yeah, I think I have one sitting out there because I do have some prizes for folks. Let's see. Try Vellum. And then I think if I like the Vellum Butterfly, we'll just have to stick that on with a glue dot. We definitely don't want to put a bunch of glue on the back of Vellum because you can see it you can see this is where my ping pong brain just goes a little bit back and forth between what to add to a card next. These little butterflies are kind of cute though. I like it. I'm not gluing that greeting down there yet. Not quite yet. Just not ready for that. I do like the torn edge. Lost my die. Where'd the die go? Oh, there he is. Come here, butterfly. I need one more. So we could add this here, have a couple of little butterflies. It's crazy, isn't it? Like that. And then I just think that adding I don't think I like that. I almost don't want the butterflies either. Maybe one butterfly. Let's try that. One butterfly. This has the most most empty space behind it, so well, let's okay. Need mini dimensional. Where'd my mini go? I think, oh, maybe it'll fit. Watch me be sorry here. And we're going to do the same thing then that I did on the other one. I'll use a dimensional on the torn side. Well, it's torn all around. On the outer edge. And a little butterfly. And maybe I'll just use some of this glitter glue right on the body and don't put any on the wings. Maybe it won't be as noticeable. Well, I don't know. Was it a bust? I'll try the second one and show you on Monday if I come up with something different on that. There's our first one. And send some positive thoughts to folks that you know, and or if you see them in person, give them a hug. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you got some inspiration and some ideas out of this, and maybe some tips to get you going on your next card. I will see you all Monday. Have a wonderful week. Don't forget, on YouTube on Fridays, we'll do 15-minute cards at 10 o'clock a.m. on my YouTube channel. So if you have a minute, stop by and we'll do a quick card. Thanks, everybody. Bye.